High-fat diets, especially those rich in saturated fats and low in fiber, have a unique talent for quietly dismantling the immune system's sense of tolerance, the careful balance that lets your body distinguish between friend and foe. When this balance is lost, the immune system can begin to treat its own tissues like foreign invaders, fueling or even initiating autoimmune diseases such as lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and inflammatory bowel disease. And where does this spiral often begin? In the gut, that thin but mighty interface between the outside world and your immune machinery. At the center of this inflammatory sabotage is the gut lining, a single layer of epithelial cells, mucus, and immune signaling that normally keeps microbes contained, toxins filtered, and the immune system calm. A high-fat diet degrades all three components. Saturated fats increase the secretion of bile acids, which in turn reshape the gut microbiome in favor of pro-inflammatory, bile-loving bacteria like Bilophila wadsworthia. These bacteria produce lipopolysaccharides, LPS, and other microbial fragments that can penetrate a compromised intestinal barrier and sneak into the bloodstream. Once there, these fragments act as molecular decoys, waking up dormant immune cells and pushing them toward chronic activation. This low-grade activation doesn't just stay in the gut. It travels through cytokine signaling, immune cell migration, and the release of microbial byproducts. The constant exposure to these stimuli can shift the immune system from tolerance to hyperreactivity, particularly in genetically susceptible individuals. And this is where autoimmune diseases often find fertile ground. In lupus, for instance, immune cells begin targeting the body's own DNA and nuclear proteins. In rheumatoid arthritis, they zero in on joint linings. The link isn't just theoretical. Mice fed a high-fat diet show accelerated lupus onset and more severe joint damage in arthritis models, and even in humans, obesity and metabolic syndrome are strongly associated with worse autoimmune disease outcomes. Regulatory T cells, TREGs, which normally act like referees in the immune system, are especially vulnerable. High-fat diets reduce the number and function of TREGs in both the gut and peripheral tissues. These cells are crucial for maintaining tolerance to self-antigens and for preventing the immune system from spiraling out of control. When they are suppressed, autoreactive T cells, the rogue cells that mistakenly attack healthy tissues, are more likely to escape deletion and launch attacks. To make matters worse, inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-A, which are elevated in response to high-fat meals and microbial leakage, actively inhibit TREG development while promoting the expansion of Th17 cells, a subset of T cells implicated in autoimmunity. In this pro-inflammatory soup, even molecular mimicry becomes more dangerous. That's the process by which the immune system mistakes a microbial protein for a human one, leading to an autoimmune response. When the gut barrier is weak and microbial antigens are flooding the immune system daily, the likelihood of this molecular confusion increases dramatically. It's like flooding your inbox with spam. Eventually, something gets misfiled and a security breach occurs. High-fat diets also disrupt the production of key microbial metabolites like short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, that usually support immune regulation. Butyrate, in particular, is known to promote TREG differentiation and reduce inflammation in the gut. When fiber is scarce and butyrate production drops, this natural regulatory brake system fails, and the immune system loses another tool for distinguishing self from not self. In autoimmune-prone individuals, such as those with specific HLA gene variants or family histories of disease, these dietary insults can tip the scale. It's not that a single cheeseburger causes lupus, but rather that sustained dietary patterns high in fat and low in fiber create an immune environment that encourages flare-ups, worsens disease progression, and reduces the effectiveness of immunosuppressive therapies. In rheumatoid arthritis, for example, patients with obesity often respond less favorably to TNF inhibitors, likely because the systemic inflammation driven by diet and fat tissue is keeping the immune system on constant high alert. All of this paints a rather damning picture of high-fat diets, not just as metabolic villains, but as immunological agitators. The gut isn't just a passive digestive organ, it's a training ground for the immune system, and a well-fed gut teaches tolerance. But when that education system collapses under the weight of saturated fats and inflammatory microbes, the immune system starts learning the wrong lessons. And once it starts attacking the body it's supposed to protect, the damage is far harder to undo. So, if you have a family history of autoimmunity, or even just a general interest in not turning your immune system into an internal arsonist, it may be worth thinking twice about that third helping of creamy, greasy comfort food. Because sometimes the real autoimmune flare up starts not in your joints or your skin, but with what's happening silently, meal after meal, in the dark corners of your intestine.